A baby monkey in Japan went viral recently, not because he performed tricks, not because he did something funny, but because he was holding a stuffed toy like it was his mother. His name is Punch. At Ichikawa City Zoo, this baby Japanese macaque was abandoned shortly after birth, small, fragile, alone. The zookeepers gave him a large stuffed orangutan toy, and he clung to it, he dragged it, he slept on it, and ran back to it when startled. Millions watched those videos, and many said, "That's heartbreaking, that's so cute, and I want to protect him." But what you were watching was not cuteness, it was attachment system activating, and not just his, yours too. Let us clarify something. Attachment is not romance, it is not dependency, it is not weakness. Attachment is biology. When a baby is born, its brain doesn't ask who do I like, it asks who keeps me alive, and that person becomes attachment figure. This was first deeply studied by John Bowlby. He observed children separated from caregivers during wartime. He noticed something profound. Children didn't just miss their parents, their entire nervous system changed. Attachment is a survival program. When activated, it overrides logic because survival always wins. Punch didn't just love the toy, he needed regulation. When the attachment figure disappears, the brain doesn't stay calm. It goes through predictable phases, and here's where it gets powerful. First comes protest: searching, calling, clinging, and crying. Human babies scream. Punch repeatedly ran back to the toy. The nervous system shouts, "Come back, I'm not safe." And this is not drama. This is the cortisol and adrenaline raising. This is the way the body saying alone equals danger. Even in adults, protest looks like repeated texting, panic when someone doesn't reply, fear when someone pulls away, emotional intensity in relationships. We may call it overacting, but nervous system calls it survival. If protest doesn't work, the system shifts. The child becomes quiet, less active, withdrawn. It looks calm from outside, but internally the stress remains high. In institutionalized children studies, researchers noticed something disturbing. Some children stopped crying not because they were okay, but because they learned no one was coming. Despair is silent. In adults, it looks like emotional numbness, lack of motivation. What's the point? Subtle depression after relational rejection, not weakness, adaptation. If separation continues long enough, the brain protects itself. By reducing attachment signals, the child may not seek comfort anymore. They appear independent, but it is defensive independence. In adulthood, this can show up as "I don't need anyone," avoiding emotional closeness, vulnerability, ending relationships before they get too deep. We label this as personality, but often it's protective wiring. Why did the toy matter so much? Because of something called a transitional object, described by Donald Winnicott. A blanket, a teddy bear, a cloth, a soft object. It helps regulate distress when the caregiver isn't physically present. The toy does not replace the mother, it stabilizes the nervous system and it says, "You're not entirely alone." Punch was not being sentimental, he was self regulating. Now, here's the uncomfortable question: what is your stuffed toy? For some people, it is constant reassurance. For some, it is overworking. For some, it is social media. And some others, it is one specific person they panic without. Adults don't outgrow attachment, we disguise it. Why did millions react emotionally? Because when we saw Punch holding that toy, our attachment system activated too. We saw vulnerability, abandonment, need, survival. And somewhere in our own nervous system, there is memory. Not necessarily a conscious memory, but body memory. Every human has experienced fear of being alone, fear of losing someone, fear of not being chosen. Attachment is universal. It is not childish, it is neurological. Here's where it becomes personal. if you feel intense anxiety in relationships, fear abandonment even without proof, need constant reassurance, struggle to trust, or avoid emotional closeness altogether. It may not be immaturity, it may be attachment patterning. Attachment styles often discussed as secure, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized. But I don't want to reduce you to labels. Instead, ask when I feel relational stress. Do I protest? Do I despair? Or do I detach? That pattern often tracks back to early regulation experiences. And the hopeful part, attachment is plastic. The brain changes through consistent safe relationships, therapy, emotional literacy, self regulation skills, repeated corrective experiences. You can develop earned security. You are not stuck. Punch is slowly integrating into his troop, at first rejected, now gradually accepted. The nervous system adapts when safety becomes consistent. That viral video was not about the monkey, it was about attachment in its rawest form. A small being holding on to something that brings regulation. Every human does this. Some do it openly, some hide it. But the need for safe connection is universal. Not weakness, not dependency, biology. That baby monkey was not just holding a toy, it was holding regulation. And if parts of you still search for safety, that doesn't mean you're broken. Your nervous system has learned early that connection equals survival. And the beautiful thing is this: safety can be relearned even in adulthood.